Welcome to the Lucidess podcast, where I explore everything because I believe everything is connected to everything else. I also believe in the infinite, unbounded potential within each of us, and I'm curious as to why it's sometimes difficult or seemingly impossible to reach some of those, if not all of those potentials. Today is an addendum to my previous podcast where someone asked me to give advice to a client that they have who's going through a rape trial. And I have to say the process was more difficult than I thought, trying to distill down that entire experience into some kind of cohesive, meaningful narrative and advice. And one of the things I found was that it was such a wide range of emotion, nearly every emotion. And I ended up splitting it into two parts. One of them I called the shit, and the other one I called be yourself always. Because there were times where I did need to fight. I had to fight like my own demons. I had to fight against the defense. And I want to preface this podcast by saying when I talk about the defense, I'm talking about the defense in my rape trial. Not every defense attorney is like this. Not every defense. So I'm not. This is my specific defense attorney. Was particularly vicious and known to be a bit of a money grubber. So this is very specific to my case. I know not all defense attorneys are like this, and they are necessary in our system, and some of them are quite nasty as well. So I just want to preface that. But so part of it was I realized there was a lot of the time where it was a fight and it was a slog through the shit and it wasn't very pretty. And then there were other times that I needed to take care of myself. I needed to inspire myself. I needed to affirm myself. I needed to believe in the beauty again of life. So I ended up creating kind of two graphic flyers, so to speak, that would represent that. And I'd like to read that to you. I know I mentioned yesterday that I would share these. So let me pull up the first one. So the first one is quite striking and beautiful. It's a black, kind of a smoky black background. And then there's gold leaf flowers near the edges, and then the writing is in gold, and this one's called the shit. And again, this is particular to my trial, not to every trial, not to every defense. This defense is paid to blame, shame, deface, pervert, destroy, scheme, twist, and shatter both you and your story. Don't believe them. Don't take it personally. For them, it's about money. For you, it's about truth. And believing in yourself is no small feat. They will try to undermine everything about you. When they do, breathe. Don't take the bait. Stay on task. Answer the questions pertaining to the rape, to the actual event. You are not on trial. Your life is not on trial. There is only one trial happening, and it is the one about the man who raped you. He is on trial, no one else. It's not your fault, and you're not on trial. Women are taught to carry the blame, shame, fault, responsibility, when it is the man who chose to rape who truly carries these. Give back the blame, shame, fault, responsibility. It's time for him to bear that burden. Don't believe the defense. Don't fear their words. Don't try to control them. Believe in your words. Believe in your truth. We all know truth when we hear it. Trust that. The defense will try to confuse you. Slow down. Take time to think. Go as slow as you need. No one remembers everything exactly, so no one expects you to. Be truthful, even when you're not sure about something. That's integrity, and it will be seen. If there is something you can hold on to, literally in your hand, and also figuratively in your heart and mind. Get that in place and be clear so that when you're on the stand and emotions are high, you can hold on to something and recall the saying, the mantra, the phrase, to remember why you're doing this, what is true, and who you are. Remember, the defense is paid to make shit happen, but you're going to make truth happen. Find your center. Stay there. So that was the first one I did. And then the second one I did, it's visually quite beautiful. It's like creamy, kind of ivory blues and whites and tans, a little bit of peach. And it says, be you always. Take care of yourself. Without you, the truth is not heard. You have a voice, strong and clear. Your power is your voice. You are responsible for speaking your truth, nothing more. The truth is always within you. Your body knows, your heart knows. You are enough. You don't need to be perfect. Real is more than enough. Trust yourself. You can do this. And this is a marathon, not a sprint. Be steady, stay focused. This will change you. Some parts need to die for others to grow. Remember who you are, which is not the same as what happened. Trust the timing. Above all else, remember the truth. Speak the truth. And then in a different kind of bold font, I said, you're doing better than you may be giving yourself credit for. And then at the very bottom, 2 things I found helpful. Is this thought helpful? Does it move me toward the life I want to live? So that is what I shared with the person who contacted me about giving advice to someone, one of their clients who's going through a rape trial. And that's about as distilled down as I could get. I thought at first I might send just a few sentences, but I couldn't actually get it any less than that. And honestly, I remember when I was going through it, I probably could have read 10 pages of that and it wouldn't have been enough. You know, the need for kind of that constant vigilance and reassurance with one's own mind and heart and path and actions and words and deeds. It's a very, very intense situation and time. The last thing I wanted to share was I remembered in the previous podcast I mentioned that the defense asked me kind of a really weird question in the pretrial, and I remembered the question, and I wanted to share what that was because I still think it's quite bizarre. So it was near the end of the defense questioning, and he was wrapping up, and he said, is there anything else you should have told us that you haven't? And I remember sitting there thinking for a second, well, that's a weird question because there's probably things I haven't said, but I haven't. And I think I can't remember what I said. I may have said, well, there are things I haven't said because you haven't asked, but maybe I just said that. But I do remember I said out loud, I don't think that's a fair question. That's what I said. I don't think that's a fair question because, and I may have said, I don't remember if I just thought or said the next part, which was because I'm sure there's things I haven't said because I haven't been asked. And the room was silent for a moment and the judge said, I would like to hear an answer. And I thought, okay, there's something I should have said that I haven't said. And I just sat quietly for a moment. And I remember this feeling of peace came over me. And I knew and then I knew what I wanted to say I should have said that I hadn't said, which was, no woman should ever have to do this. That's what so I opened my mouth to say, no woman should ever have to do this. But right when I opened my mouth, the defense attorney says, I withdraw the question. He said it really loud and really fast. as though he had been planning it. And I realized, this was just, I don't know what he was, I feel like it was some part of game he was playing. Because it was I had found the truth for me, which I have always said. I was like, I'm going to tell the truth. And the truth for me in that moment was what I should have said that I have not said, is that no woman should ever have to do this. And that was my truth in that moment. I didn't get to say it because he withdrew the question. And I still think the question was unfair. I mean, is there something you should have said that you have not said? I'm like, well, there's probably lots of things I should say, but I haven't been asked them. I'm here. I don't get to just spout out here. Anyway, so I say those words now. Is there something I should have said that I never got to say? Yes. And that is, no woman should ever have to do this. Period. And that is not the world we live in yet. Maybe never. Here we are. So this is my wrapping up of, if there's someone out there who is going through a rape trial, if these words somehow, and the other thing, this is one thing when I sent it to them, I said, one of the hardest parts of this was realizing that each of us is going to struggle with different aspects. And so what I struggled with may not be what someone else struggles with as they go through their rape trial. But even if my words aren't quite right, what I hope can be transferred is the energy, is the courage, the resilience, the surrender, the fight. Like so many things are needed. So many things are needed. And so what I hope is that in my sharing of this, that the energy that is needed is transferred to the person that needs it, even if the words don't land quite right. So that is my prayer, my blessing, my praise of this at this moment. Take care, everyone. We are so blessed, even as we face our challenges and difficulties. So blessings to you all.